Hey everybody,
I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we have our top 10 games that we learned in January 2025.
So, I don't know how many people out there follow the Holderness family. I am a huge fanboy of Penn and Kim Holderness.
The frame rate.
And they have a video about how January is like 738 days long. I love it.
January felt very long. I will say it felt super long.
Yes.
We did learn 50 games though.
50 games. I also learned 50 games.
I am on track to learning 600 for the year. That's my
good.
goal.
That's your goal. You're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it.
That's right.
So it's up with February, so a short month.
That's right.
We'll see.
So all of our games, except one, were provided to us by the publishers. So before we begin, we're going to thank those publishers for providing us all of those games. But guess what? They did not give us those games in exchange for those videos or for their placement in this top 10. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games. So we're going to go ahead and get right to our top 10. My number 10 game of January 2025 is from Capstone Games, Atlantis Exodus. So, super crunchy game where you are having to save the people of Atlantis before they sink. So you've got 5 years to get everyone trained up and into spots on the rest of the world, and then you're going to get points for for as many people as you can save. So I really had a good time with this. We recently streamed it, so be sure to check out that video, that teach and playthrough, if it sounds like that's something that you enjoy. But yeah, I really enjoy all of the different interactions and how you get the people from the rondel to your training area and onto different portions of the world. Uses a really interesting rondel scoring mechanic where you place your king into the middle of this rondel and then to the second level and then to the third level, while maybe possibly being blocked along the way. And then when the year happens, the island shifts and then we have new things to have to deal with. So
yeah, I really like this one as well. I like how that rondel works and like you're working your way down. You're like, hopefully no one takes my spot.
it must have barely missed your list.
Yeah, it did not make my list, but I did quite enjoy it.
Yeah. And you can check out that video on our YouTube channel. Just search for Board Gamer Steph.
Yeah.
All right, on to your number 10.
My number 10 is King's Coalition from Play to Z.
That's right.
And this was pretty cool because I am a big fan of Fantasy Realms.
Yes, me too.
Love Fantasy Realms. I actually been playing it a lot with one of my game groups, and it's a game that frequents the table. So that
Marvel Remix, a similar sort of thing.
And so this one has a similar hand management system where you're trying to have the best hand of cards at the end of the game, but they're not all unique cards. So you're trying to specifically cater to the different goals that are on the board and that are being revealed as the game progresses. So one, I like that there are different goals every game, and two, I like that you don't really know what you're going for until you know.
It's definitely not the same game every time.
No, and it feels different from Fantasy Realms.
Those goals are revealed one round at a time.
Yeah.
So you don't quite know what you should be saving and what you should not be saving.
Yeah, and it's the right amount of time. The game ends when I think the 6th round is over, and versus immediately ending in Fantasy Realms when there's no more room in the display. So I like that there's a timed ending versus you don't know really when it's going to end.
Right. Plus, with Marvel Remix and Fantasy Realms, it's possible to rush the ending. I think those games have inelegant endings, though the game itself is very fun. And it will be a keeper for us. I think that those games do not have as elegant of an ending. because it's based on how many times you discarded cards. And this game is not like that at all. You have a set number of rounds. Much prefer the way that King's Coalition does it.
Oh, me too.
So again, this game will also be, in my opinion, a keeper, just like Fantasy Realms and Marvel Remix are keepers.
Small card games like this are really easy to just hang on to because I might not want to play Fantasy Realms. I might want to play something a little different.
That's right. And it is a little meatier, I think, than Fantasy Realms. So, but with a low price point and a small box volume, easy to put on a shelf and just keep it there until it's time to hit the table.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun.
That was King's Coalition from Play to Z.
Hey, guess what?
My number 9 game. Oh, is your number 9 game?
No.
I did not know that because this is the first time I've actually seen her list. I did not know.
Crossover. Well, our number 9 is Avatar.
The Last Airbender.
Aang's Destiny.
Right, from the Op.
Yeah.
So, for those of you out there who have played Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle or the Toy Story game, that is quite similar. I cannot for the life of me remember
Adventures and Obstacles and Adventures?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's really easy to find on Board Game Geek. Just check it out. But it's all part of the same sort of family of games.
System,
they all work very similarly. However, each of these systems has their own thematic elements and always something different to set it apart from the others. So it makes it so you want to check this out, even if you have no connection to the intellectual property. Like we've never seen Avatar anything.
No.
None of the shows or movies or...
But because the Op is a license, we have played a few of the games.
Yes, we have.
And we've liked them. So this just goes to show we only played the first game, but I feel like after more plays it could go up or down depending on our experience, and maybe we should watch the show. I hear it's very good.
Yep.
So
I agree. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing all. I believe there's 7 boxes.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there are 7 chapters, very similar to Hogwarts Legacy and the Toy Story game. So as far as I know, I believe this is the 3rd in the series. If for those who collect entire families of games like this, you definitely want to be sure to check this out. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang's Destiny.
Yeah.
From the Op. And the Op, I got to say, there's some really cool titles coming. We had a talk with the Op yesterday, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
2 days ago. And looking forward to bringing y'all some of those games.
Yes.
My number 8 games, we've already talked about it amazingly enough. It's King's Coalition from Play to Z. And I love it for the same reasons that Steph loves it. I love cards that have card powers and abilities. I love the abilities that it gives you to trade cards with the market a little bit unlike what Fantasy Realms or Marvel Remix does. I think it takes what those games do and cranks it up just a little bit on the strategy side. So it's more of a gamer's game version of those titles. Highly recommend King's Coalition from Play to Z.
Yeah. My number 8 is Star Realms Academy.
So cute.
So cute.
Wise Wizard Games.
Yes. And this one is basically because I love the idea of getting those kids into deck building games, and this just is so family friendly, that I really appreciate what they've done to simplify Star Realms. I mean, Star Realms is pretty easy, but definitely more complicated for kids. So I really appreciate this edition of Star Realms to help get those gamer kids, into the universe. Pull them in.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think they did a great job with production, with the gameplay and everything. So for me, it hit the mark.
Yep. You're only drawing 3 cards at a time instead of 5. It's really easy to keep track of everything. It's a 15 life instead of 50. Everything is big and bright and cartoony and colorful. It really brings it into a level for what 7, 8, 9 year old kids. I would say
Even younger, maybe.
Maybe so. For especially if you've got a really bright 5 or 6 year old.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that is Star Realms Academy from Wise Wizard Games.
Yeah.
My number 7 game was we were really fortunate to get a copy of this game when there were only just a few copies in North America at the time. We got a chance to get Azul Duel from Next Move Games. In Azul Duel, you are basically doing a lot of similar things that you are doing with Azul. I think Board Games James says, "Wow, did not even know that this was a thing." I mean, it is brand spanking new. So there are a lot of dual and duo titles that have come out since long ago. We had the Seven Wonders Duel that came out, and now all of a sudden, late 2024, early 2025, like
every game,
a lot of dual games have been coming out. We've got Everdell Duo and Azul Duel. There's just a whole bunch of them that have been coming out. Azul Duel takes a lot of what you love in Azul, and obviously my puppet would love this, being named Azul, right, and puts it in a 2-player friendly format. You've got places that you can draft from in the middle, as you normally would, where you've got your tiles. However, the really cool thing is once you've taken from one of these sun area of the tiles, all the other tiles are stacked on the moon portion. And you can either take from the sun portion from one of the spots or all of the moon portions. So if obviously if they are matching tiles, much like you will in Azul. So you've also got columns that have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 slots. Is there a 6th one? I think it's just 5.
5, but 6 across.
Slots. And then 6 across.
It's different.
Where you can, if you have completed your row of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of an identical type, then you can then place one of your tiles over on the right hand side of your board, and then move that tile over there to be a certain color, and you can finish up sections of your board. If any of this sounds fantastic and you want a more detailed breakdown of what this game provides, we do have a video of it, full teach and playthrough. Be sure to check that out on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So, Azul Duel from Next Move Games, super fun.
Which is a lot from you, who doesn't really like abstract games.
I am not a fan of abstract games. And so this hitting number 7 on my list
of a surprise.
Is huge, I gotta say.
My number 7 is Mesos from Pegasus Spiel. We just learned this like a couple weeks ago, and it was really impressive. I enjoy the where do I want to stand in line to collect cards? Do I think people are going to take the cards I want? The earlier I go, I won't have to pay any fees, but I'll get fewer cards.
It's one of those games where you can choose what you're taking. The earlier you go in the line, meaning the earlier you will take, the fewer things you get. If you decide to be greedy and go later in the line to get a lot of stuff, not only might you have to pay, but you're also only going to get what's left over.
The bare bones. And it's a set collection game, so you're collecting all these different cards and trying to every different type of card will do something different for you. So it's all good, but you want to try and focus if you can. And you just have to see what other people are doing and play off of that. So tight game.
So Be sure to check out our video for that. I'm sure you're going to link all these below, right?
I could try.
You could try. Okay, sounds great. That's Mesos from Pegasus Spiel, our clear winner of games last year, I got to say.
Yeah, they
Pegasus
had a lot
Spiel
of great games last year.
really,
Continuing on into this year, even.
really doing well.
Yes.
My number 6 game, we're moving really quickly along in this top 10.
Yep.
Is Cargo Empire from, I always have trouble saying this
Mo
name.
Ideas.
Mo Ideas. And they sent you this really cool, wonderful game reviewer award.
It was really cute.
It was really cool of them to do. Anyway, Cargo Empire, super fun. I would say it's a pick up and deliver game.
It's not.
It's sort of pick up and deliver, but you basically have to. It's a game where you have cargo crates all over the board, and you have to have presence in the spot where you are picking up, and then you are going to take it somewhere and establish presence where you deliver. And that lets you maybe pick up from that area and deliver somewhere else as you're dropping your little lighthouses all over the board. Here's the thing. You can only go so far when you're carrying it. How do you carry this cargo? You can carry it by land, by land, different types by land. You can do it by just a wheeled vehicle, let you go one space, by rail vehicle, let you go 1 or 2 spaces, or by boat, which lets you go from a port to any port on the area. And then you can establish presence other places. We are trying to build towards our own goals by maybe you might have a goal of having one of your little buildings in all of the red cities along the edge of the map or in one region of the world. There are 2 sides to the game board, one of which is Europe, and the other side, I believe, is like a made-up fantasy area. So anyway, it's super cool how all of that works, and you might end up hearing about it later in this review.
Possibly.
Cargo Empire by Mo Ideas.
Yep. My number 6 is Little Alchemist from Czech Games Edition.
So cute.
Oh my god. So I liked Alchemist when I first played it, but I gotta be honest, it's not a game that hits the table. I haven't played it in years and years and years.
It is an app-assisted deduction game.
It is big. It's a big game, the Alchemist. So the fact that they made a Little Alchemist, it suggests that it's made more for kids, and it is definitely an easy entry point. But what's so cool about this game is that it has a ton of boxes inside. And so yes. I just want to know what's in all those boxes. I want to see how this game progresses.
We do not yet know because, number 1, this game is new to us. And number 2, we have to play all the new games. And we haven't had time to get into all of the entire campaign of Little Alchemists.
Yeah, so this takes Alchemist, and you're still deducing various things with what you're creating these potions. Like if I put a blue and green up, it might come back as a green potion or something. And so you're trying to get certain things during each game, and you're trying to beat your opponents, but at the end you're also coming together with a challenge that hopefully Michael's knowledge and my knowledge together can figure out the puzzle they're asking. And I think that's really kind of a cool idea.
So as far as we know, it's cooperative.
But it's not.
But it's not. So we will see.
So we'll see. I think it's really fun. I love the use of the app. You just show a picture of it and it tells you, oh, this is what happens. It's very like kid friendly, I would say, with the characters and the animations and stuff. So
and the app really walks you through it.
Yeah.
But if you want to see a walkthrough of the first scenario, we've got that on video too.
Yeah, we do.
Along with our other 1,500 videos.
1 billion.
Most people don't know we have that many videos. We've got over 1,500 videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Board Gamer Steph. This barely missed my list. But it has really good potential to move up my list based on what it's got in those boxes. it could be, one of the top 5 games of this month. If those are just knocks my socks off.
For sure.
So that's Little Alchemist from Czech Games Edition. My number 5 game is Andromeda's Edge from Lucky Duck Games. Big, huge production where you're trying to build your civilization on all of these different worlds and race up all of these science, technology, and supremacy tracks. You've got bad guy forces. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they're basically all the big bads that are trying to knock you out of that portion of the galaxy, and you're trying to build your forces up to defeat them. You've got different ship types. You've got scouts, and you've got science vessels, and you've got big battleships, and you've got fighter ships. I really enjoy it's sort of like, to me, it's a cross between a Euro and an Ameritrash game.
Yep.
So does that accurately describe it, do you think?
Yeah.
So trying to find these worlds, upgrade all of your ship's abilities, and create little colonies on these planets, and just trying to get a little bit ahead of your opponents, pushing up those tracks. And so the Euro-ness is all of the tracks and everything, and the Ameritrash is the slinging of all these dice to try to beat either the big bads on the board or our fellow opponents. So,
but even getting booted off the map is not that big of a deal.
It's really not.
Which is why, I do appreciate that about the game.
Yes. Matter of fact, you can upgrade your defeat ability so that you don't just get the standard reward, but you get some sort of really cool upgraded reward.
Yeah.
And how do you get those upgraded rewards? Well, you explore moons of planets, and you'll collect them on your board and then assign them to spots. It's got a very Euro-y sort of place all my units, or as many as I want, and then bring them all back and get bonuses for bringing them back, and then put them all out and then bring them all back. I love the flow. This has the opportunity to go higher on my list, but for me, it is definitely a keeper. So, and you've got a love-hate relationship with it.
It happens.
But definitely one that I really appreciate. That's Andromeda's Edge from Lucky Duck Games. Salt says, love AE, spent so much money getting the blinged out version. Ours is not the blinged out version.
Nope.
I think I want it, but I'll survive without it. Your number 5.
My number 5 is Casinopolis. And this was, I think, recently on Kickstarter. It's a button shy game, so it's very small, and it comes in a little wallet. For those who
as they do.
Yeah, for those who like Sprawlopolis or Agropolis. Well, I haven't played Agropolis yet, but Sprawlopolis was very popular, so they made additional games like this. This one is you're building up Las Vegas, all these casinos, and you're trying to puzzle out the best network you can with having the strip. And so you score lots of stuff on that. But every game will have the 3 different scoring conditions, and you're trying to line up these different symbols to get bonus points. I think it's really like a clever little game, and obviously it plays really quickly because you could play it solo or with 2 people, and I think it's really good. I like the puzzle aspect of it.
So our rules video on YouTube says that you have to place the cards on top of one another, and then the designer said you don't have to place them on top of one another. We might have gotten an old version of the rules.
Possible.
So keep that in mind if you check out our rules video, that might have indeed been changed. Sometimes we get early copies of these games, and then the rules shift on us a little bit.
Yeah, it's not out yet, so we definitely had a prototype of it. So
Yeah.
that happens for sure.
Yep.
But I like it a lot.
That is Casinopolis by Button Shy Games.
Yeah.
My number 4 game we've already talked about. It's Mesos from Pegasus Spiel. I really love card collection games or tile collection games or anything collection games where you're trying to get certain sets of things and you can't really focus on everything and do well at everything. You've just got to give some things up. You can't have the most hunters and the most technologies and the most builders and the most artists. You just can't. You can't draft that many things. So I enjoy games where you have to decide which you want to focus on. You've got to feed all of your cards every time that phase comes up, but you have to balance, which cards you get and which cards you have to have. So I really enjoy games like that. Highly recommend checking out Mesos from Pegasus Spiel.
Yeah. My number 4 is
Another repeat.
Azul Duel.
Ooh.
And I really like this.
Every time you get quiet during a game, you can pretty much guess that's one that she wants to talk about in a minute.
That's right. I really like this because you're basically crafting your own board because you have to draft those tiles to then place the tokens onto. So I love the customization of how you're building your board. I like even the little bonus tokens that you get, that if you get 2 of them, you get a free disc, and that helps you complete your rows. You're going to need all the help you can get because it's a 6x5 instead of a 5x5, which is Azul. So, I think it works really well. I like the way that they did the sun and the moon, because the moon spaces, you're stacking these discs. It's not all just going to the middle like Azul. So you have to be clever on how you draft these things.
And clever on how you stack them, because if you're the one who takes the first batch of tiles, then you get to stack the rest of them on the moon. Yeah. So it really, really works as a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were to play Azul, this would be the addition to play.
Yeah.
For me.
I would agree. Of course, it's only 2 players for sure. Mm-hmm. However, I think that this is probably my favorite and to me, the most streamlined and elegant of the Azul games. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's Azul Duel number 4 from Next Move Games. My number 3 game is one that we played. Is this one of our January 1st specials?
No.
No, it wasn't.
No.
We played this 4 players with our friends James and Susan. It's Craftwagen Age of Engineering by Arcane Wonders, who picked up the license to Craftwagen, and I had never played before. And you've played an old version, haven't you?
Yep.
So you already knew what was coming. I was totally brand new to it. In Craftwagen, it's the early age of automotive creation and everything, and you have different areas in which you can focus on. You can focus on testing your cars around the test track. You can focus on creating new car bodies and new engines, and you have to increase your ability to even manufacture these bodies and engines. You can have an engine that you put in your test bed, which is when you drive it around the track. You can combine a body and an engine and then put it up for sale. And then if you have placed out, so you get to influence which buyers will buy those cards. If you put out a buyer that wants the best deal, it's going to buy the cheapest one. If you want the buyer that wants the best body, it's going to get the car that we've offered that has the best body. And you sort of position yourself to where you are gaining the most money for, the best bang for the buck for these customers that are coming up. I love this as a super fun Euro game. It's got Tokaido style action selection where you've got a big round circle and you are moving your piece forward to select an action. If you are the farthest back, you will select an action, and then you won't get to go again until everyone else has taken an action that is beyond your playing piece. You can indeed go farther along the track, but you're going to end up waiting a while before you can go again. So I love that risk reward with that sort of action selection. Takedo action selection is among my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So
what my understanding is that the people you can draft, that one token that allows you to have like a partnership, that's all new in this version. Nice. So all those people that you can draft with that one token, that token is also added. It's a new token.
Oh, nice.
Because it has the 3 choices on it.
Yes.
So from my understanding, that's the biggest change, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
The artwork is stunning, and
it was up here.
It was.
I don't know. It's behind Creature Caravan. Got you.
Yeah.
So definitely want to check out Craftwagen Age of Engineering from Arcane Wonders.
Yep.
Guess what? Like you said, it's another crossover. Yes. Except it's your number 3.
My number 3.
And my number 2.
So that means I get to talk about it.
You do get to talk about it. You're first to be first.
All right, my number 3, your number 2 is Wingspan from Stonemaier Games. And obviously in the Wingspan family of games, it was all the talk for the past few weeks because it suddenly was out there, and now we were fortunate enough to get a early review copy for it, and we streamed it, and that was great.
It's interesting that you are not the biggest Wingspan fan. You were like, it's fine. It's okay.
Finspan is.
I enjoyed Wingspan more.
Finspan is everything I wanted Wingspan to be. So for me, this is better than Wingspan. It is streamlined. There isn't a display of cards, so people aren't like agonizing on what to take and making the game like AP forever. You just randomly will get cards that are added to your supply. And what they do here is like you're going to be spending cards as payment for some of the cards that you want to put onto your board. That goes into your personal discard pile, and then there's a way to get some of those cards back if you take a certain action.
But only your discard piles.
Yes.
Which is, I think it's fantastic. It's because if you could go through all the discard piles, and maybe that used to be how it was, and clearly they're like, no, this doesn't work. You can't spend hours looking through this. You know what you've got in your own discard pile. You got rid of them at one point in time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so that's just one of the things. So another thing that they did change is like there's no dice for collecting resources. There are resources. There are eggs you are going to have with your fish, and that turn into young, or guppies, or young is what they call them.
It's young. Yeah.
And so you're going to have these young tokens. And so it's interesting because you can get the upgraded bits for it, but I actually probably would say the normal game is good because you just flip over the token. You don't have to swap things out. So I prefer the generic
tokens. Turn into young. 3 young turns into a school, which that one you do swap.
You do, but how many school? I mean, you make at most 6 or something, but
yeah, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot. So I like that the resources are just basically eggs and young, and you will be spending those to get fish into play. And the way in Wingspan is you're activating the line back to forward, right? And so you're adding your cards specifically, and you have to pay eggs, right? So here it's much more free. You're kind of just put it in the region it needs to go, because
you put them anywhere.
You put them anywhere in the region. So if it needs to be in sunlight, you put them somewhere in the top 9 spaces. Some cards might have requirement that it has to go in the blue column, for instance, but things like that it's very like flexible to me. Like you can choose where you're putting these cards, and then you will activate the columns. And so the further down, the later it'll activate. And so I think what they did to streamline it just works so well.
Yeah, it's like they took the best ideas from Wingspan and brought them forward into Finspan. So, multiple people who we have talked to said Wingspan on complexity level is like right here. Wormspan took Wingspan and increased the complexity up about this much. Finspan took the complexity and dropped it about right here. But not to its detriment. I love a good complex game. Love complexity, but not complexity just for the sake of complexity. Finspan is so elegant in its design. I have not played Wormspan. I may fall in love with Wormspan. I don't know. And I had a really good experience with Wingspan. It was among my highest rated games on that month that I played it. But Finspan, so far, beats Wingspan for me. And I don't know about Wormspan yet, but I'm looking forward to giving that a try.
Yeah, I haven't played Wormspan either. But I don't see how it could possibly be better than this because this is what I wanted it to be.
This is what you wanted Wingspan to be. Yes.
Yeah. I don't need more complex. That just means more APing, and I find Wingspan to be very long. And for me, it's just way overstated.
So that's weird because, okay, I played Wingspan, not with you originally. I played it with Drew and Laura, who are used to stream on Meeple Grande and now own a game store in South Carolina. Be sure to check out Meeple Merchants in South Carolina. And I played it with them 3 players, and I was fully expecting a long AP filled game, and we did not have all that AP because we played it right there on stream. But I have heard story after story after story of Wingspan just taking so long, and I'm like, I've never experienced that.
If I'm gonna play Wingspan, it will be Asia for 2 players,
and that
made the game better.
It made the game so much better
for Wingspan.
I would
but
say.
Even still, this is better.
This even beats Wingspan Asia
for me.
Yes,
for me.
I also agree. Jelfia says, I like the no dice.
Yeah, me too.
So like how Wingspan has dice that you are collecting the food, and I sort of like that disaster mitigation. What happens if you don't roll the right things? But Finspan takes all that away.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's only fine with that resources. It's eggs and young, and that's basically it.
You don't have to feed them a certain sort of food in order to make things happen. Yeah. It's just there.
And it takes away like the pink actions in Wingspan, which didn't really need to be there. Like in between turns, if something happens, you get something. Like I didn't care for that in Wingspan. So I'm glad they just did a lot of great
streamlined.
Yeah. So
made it so elegant, and for it to be your number 3 and my number 2 game, they're doing something right.
Definitely.
So be sure to check out Finspan from Stonemaier Games. Is it out yet or out soon?
I'm pretty sure it's out because my friend has it. So
well, there you go.
They already started delivering.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Your number 2. It's another repeat.
Yeah. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot.
Oh no! Just imagine if it were over there.
I put it in Michael's. It was Cargo Empire because I already told you. But here we go. Cargo Empire, and
pro streamers on the fly.
Yes. So this one totally surprised me. One, because I'm not big on pick up and deliver, and that's in the BGG, what mechanics and stuff. But I would say this is definitely a delivery game. Yes, you need to have presence in order to deliver a resource. So you have to figure out how to get places to have presence. But also you want to take the opportunity because you have gold cards. And so like, I want to have like 8 ports if I can, and I'll get some number of points. So I'm like, okay, well, if I go to this port now and this port after, and then I could be in these spots to get these different resources. So it's one big puzzle in my mind on how to get everywhere I want to go. Not only that, but it's surprising because you have these cards that you are using to move. And so if you focus on just using boats, for instance, your boat is going to move along this track.
Oh yeah, I forgot the tracks.
The tracks is what the hard puzzling thing about, and the most unique part about this game, because
that's how you get more cards.
That's how you get more cards, and you need cards to move. So you're going to have to try and keep it even if you can. But if you are able to push that boat way, 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 way up, you'll get tons of points at the end of the game. But the further you're pushing the boat, the less cards you have. And so I ran into the problem, like, I didn't have a card on my last turn. So I really just had to pass. And I'm like, oh, if I just planned better. And so just because of that, it's like,
That's surprising.
what could I have done?
It's surprising that you had a dead turn and you still rated this number 2.
Because I like that puzzle aspect. Like,
it's
how
really thinking.
Done it better to get the card I needed to have a final turn. Like, and it's so interesting because it's simple. The game is simple.
That is true.
You're just delivering something. And you can deliver to any number of one of these parts. And you don't even have to have a card or bonus to go to these places. But if you do, you get bonuses.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, I want to prioritize going to places where I can get a bonus either from the display of cards or from my own personal supply of cards. And so...
But you have to have a spot to go at that port.
I know.
And you get there in time. Can you get there?
And you want to go where people might go because you want it to close and get extra points. And so all of these things together surprised me in a way to make it feel unique. And not many games are unique.
And that's what we look for.
And so
at least the two of us, we look for unique games because we've played all the games. Yeah. Not all of them, but most of them.
And so getting those cards, while you want to spend as many cards as you can, there's a rule saying you must take the shortest route, but you want to spend the cards so you want to boost your vehicles.
Spend the cards, move the tracks.
But then you're like,
get the cards.
Now I have no cards. So at the end of the game, like, why did I just go willy-nilly with my spending earlier? I need these cards now. It's like, oh my God. And so it's a surprising game that I absolutely love, and I'm very excited to show it on stream when we can.
So several people, when we were saying we're doing our top 10 and we were talking about doing Cargo Empire, people were shocked saying, Steph, you liked a pick up and deliver game? What? You liked a game with trains in it?
Yes. I mean, I guess there are trains, but it's more vehicles and modes of transportation.
I agree. And it's not really pick up and deliver. It's really just
deliver.
Make the connection. It's just deliver.
It is. I mean,
from anywhere that you have presence to anywhere on the board.
So long as they have goods. And I like that it's pretty open and how you want to try and prioritize where you are delivering for your goals and for bonuses. But, it's also maybe you just want to be in a better location for the next time or have the right resources for next time. Like, I don't know. For me, this game just hit all the marks and made me go, wow. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I know another game that hit all the marks and made you go, wow.
Yeah, it's actually my number 1 and your number 1.
That's right.
It's really, really, I love it.
Jelfia says the world is turned upside down. Michael likes an abstract. Steph likes a pick up and deliver. Deliver and deliver.
Say it. Just deliver.
So, our number 1 game. The only game that was not provided by the publisher, however, they're going to provide it to us. I mean, they've already talked to us several times about providing it to us. We just are waiting on the copy.
We want to play through it.
We want to play through it. Does anybody know what it might be?
I'm sure everybody knows.
Really?
Yep.
Any guesses out there? Well, there it is. It's already spoilered. The Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game from Office Dog. Yeah. This game is fantastic. For those of you who enjoy campaign games, much like The Crew, and it even better, it's a trick-taking campaign game, like The Crew. And even better is Lord of the Rings.
It's so good.
So, basically, to sum up, every chapter that you play, every game that you play, you are going to, based on what your hand is, you are going to select one of the characters. Now, if you have the one of rings, the one ring, Get it? You usually get to be Frodo. So, you will take the Frodo character, and Frodo has certain objectives that has to be reached if we're going to win this chapter. Everyone else will get a selection of the other characters, and those characters change from chapter to chapter. And not only that, you've got some other weird thing that is going to happen in the chapter because you're going through the actual Fellowship of the Ring. And you might guess that there might be a Two Towers and Return of the King later on. I am almost
I'm pretty sure
certain that that is going to happen. I don't have inside knowledge from Office Dog about this, but come on. It has been so well received.
Yeah, oh my god. So good.
So, we played...
picked up a tantrum, like, we gotta try this.
Yes. So we played 6 or 7 chapters at Tantrum Con. There are many chapters.
So
I don't even know how many there are. 18, 20?
20, I'm pretty
something.
Sure.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Pick it up.
Just keep going.
And it's not just a one play and it's done sort of thing. Just like the crew, I've played the crew through at least twice already.
Yeah.
I could play the crew, from scratch, and I don't feel like I've been spoilered on anything where I would have an unfair advantage. I would play through Bomb Busters again from scratch, and I don't feel like I've been spoilered because the challenge is in the individual scenarios, and it's much that way in...
You have to deal with your hand and figure it out.
Exactly.
And then that will change depending on the group and depending on, how you have to move your cards around.
Exactly. So, I can't say enough good about this. Hopefully, we can play it for you on stream, and we are more than happy to do so. As soon as we get our copy from Office Dog, we will definitely bring it to you. So, for those of you who don't know, who did not realize we do 1,500 videos, most of the games that we have mentioned on this list, we have teaches and playthroughs for. So by all means, be sure to check those out.
Yes.
So, and one quick shout out to our sponsor, All Play, who provided us this fantastic Jasper table.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That we now have set up for our streams.
Yeah.
So, thanks, All Play. So, quick rundown of our top 10. Yep. If you can clear off our number ones.
Oh.
I know, it looks so good. My number 10, Atlantis Exodus from Capstone Games. My number 9, Avatar The Last Airbender, Aang's Destiny from the Op. Number 8, King's Coalition from Play to Z. Number 7, Azul Duel from Next Move Games. Number 6, Cargo Empire from Moideas. Number 5, Andromeda's Edge from Lucky Duck Games. Number 4, Mesos from Pegasus Spiel. Number 3, Craftwagen, Age of Engineering from Arcane Wonders. Number 2, Finspan from Stonemaier Games. And number 1, The Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game from Office Dog.
Yeah. My number 10 was King's Coalition from Play to Z. Number 9 was Avatar The Last Airbender from Aang's Destiny from the Op. Number 8 was Star Realms Academy from Wise Wizard Games. Number 7, Mesos from Pegasus Spiel. Number 6, Little Alchemist from Czech Games Edition. Number 5, Casinopolis from Button Shy Games. Number 4, Azul Duel from Next Move Games. Number 3, Finspan from Stonemaier Games. Number 2, Cargo Empire from Moideas. And number 1, Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game from Office Dog.
And that's our top 10 of January 2025.
So good. It was a good month.
Yeah, it was a really good month. Was not difficult at all to find 10 spectacular games to move to the top of the list. So, and also be sure to check out Steph's blog on Board Game Geek called, amazingly enough, All the Meeples of the Rainbow.
I'll post my full list of 50 games that I learned.
All 50 games.
And with little excerpts, hopefully tomorrow.
Yep. No, tomorrow.
I got work to do tonight.
You do, you do have work to do tonight. So, yeah, and I'm looking forward to February, even though there are only 28 days in February as opposed to the 729 days of January. February is usually not a small month for us. We usually get enough games played, and I don't know why.
So hopefully we can play a bunch. And I'm only at 4 new this month, so I got
You got to pick it up.
46 more to go.
That's okay. It's only what, February? It's only February 2nd.
I know. Okay.
You got time.
We'll see.
The look on your face. So, thanks for joining us on our top 10 video. If you want to check out the teaches and playthroughs of a lot of these games on our top 10 list, as well as those that didn't quite make the list, you can check those out on Steph's YouTube channel. Just search for Board Gamer Steph. All one word, that's you.
Me.
Or, even better, you can join us where it all begins. And that's on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, where we stream live every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central. And we always stream 3 games, and usually a lot more, every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.